You are probably not lazy. That's the first thing we need to fix. Because lazy people don't usually spend hours thinking about the life they could build. They don't obsess over business ideas. They don't save videos about investing, productivity, and leveling up. They don't feel guilty at midnight because they know they're capable of more. So if that's you, big goals, zero motion, this is not a laziness problem. It's a paralysis problem. And paralysis is more dangerous than laziness because it looks intelligent. It looks like research. It looks like waiting for clarity. It looks like I'll start when I'm ready. But under all of that, there's usually one hidden system error. You are not avoiding work. You are avoiding the possibility that your best effort might still fail. And once you see that, your whole life starts making a lot more sense. Let's talk about what's actually happening. Your brain has one job: protect you. Not make you rich, not make you disciplined, not maximize your potential. Protect you. And one of the smartest ways it protects your ego is through something psychologists call self-handicapping, which is basically this. If you never fully try, you never have to fully find out. If you procrastinate on the exam, the bad grade means nothing about your intelligence. If you delay launching the business, you never have to test whether the market actually wants what you built. If you plan for 6 months, you can still believe your potential is unlimited. Because potential is safe. Reality has a scoreboard. That's why ambitious people often freeze harder than average people. They have more to lose psychologically. If your identity is built around being smart, gifted, or meant for more, then failure doesn't just feel inconvenient. It feels personal. So the brain makes a trade, a terrible trade. It chooses the short-term comfort of not trying over the long-term ROI of real progress. And then there's the second trap, analysis paralysis. This is what happens when intelligence turns against you. You see every angle, every risk, every possible path, every possible downside. To other people, you look unmotivated. But internally, you're running a full board meeting every time you need to make one decision. Should you start a YouTube channel, get a certification, learn sales, build a side hustle, focus on your career, invest more aggressively, play it safe? And because every choice feels high stakes, your brain does what overloaded systems do. It stalls. Not because you don't care, because you care so much that action starts to feel expensive. Expensive in embarrassment, expensive in uncertainty, expensive in mental bandwidth. So you scroll, you watch, you optimize the plan, you consume more content. And it feels productive enough to keep the fantasy alive, without taking the risk that would make it real. That line hurts a little. Good. It's supposed to. So what's the fix? Not more motivation. Not another 4 a.m. routine from a guy who treats sleep like a personal weakness. The answer is architecture over willpower. Because willpower is emotional. Architecture is mechanical. And when your brain is scared, mechanics beat motivation every time. Here's the shift. Stop trying to become a heroic version of yourself. Start building a system that works even when you feel insecure, distracted, or tired. Because the goal is not to feel ready. The goal is to make action easier than avoidance. First, reduce friction. If the task feels vague, your brain interprets it as threat. Build wealth is vague. Transfer $50 into index funds every Friday is concrete. Start a business is vague. Email 3 potential clients by 6 p.m. is concrete. Ambitious people love abstraction because it feels big, but execution lives in specifics. Second, lower the stakes. Your brain is freezing because every move feels like a referendum on your identity. So stop making every action mean so much. You are not starting a company. You are testing an offer. You are not becoming a content creator. You are publishing one useful video. You are not fixing your life. You are improving your systems by 10%. That's how compounding works, by the way. Not just in investing, in identity. Small, repeated proof changes how you see yourself. And once your brain has evidence, it stops needing fantasy. Third, shorten feedback loops. Fear thrives in long timelines. If you work on something for 6 months before getting any signal, your mind will fill the silence with worst-case scenarios. So tighten the loop. Post sooner, ship sooner, test sooner, measure sooner. High performers are not always more confident. They just get data faster. And this is where smart tools actually matter. Not because tools magically fix discipline, but because they can reduce friction and protect your mental bandwidth. Take Audible. If you're trying to build financial intelligence, but your schedule is chaotic, Audible turns dead time into learning time. Commutes, walks, gym sessions, grocery runs. That's not self-improvement content. It's input compounding. A few solid books on investing, psychology, negotiation, or leverage can quietly upgrade the quality of your decisions for years. That's real ROI. Especially if you're the kind of person who wants to read more, but keeps losing the battle to tabs, notifications, and low-grade digital chaos. I've linked a specific book in the description, The Psychology of Money, that you can grab for free on Audible. And then there's your second problem. Even when you do learn, most people never build a system to organize what they know. So their ideas live in screenshots, random notes, open loops, and anxiety. That's where tools like Notebook LM or StudyFetch become less like apps and more like infrastructure. Use them as an external brain. Drop in finance books, career notes, business ideas, market research, questions you keep circling. Then turn scattered information into something usable. A decision system, a learning system, a wealth building system. Because once your environment starts holding the weight, your brain can stop pretending it has to remember everything. And that frees up energy for the only thing that changes your life: execution. So if you've been calling yourself lazy, maybe stop. Maybe what you've been experiencing is the psychological tax of being highly aware and highly afraid. Afraid of wasting time, afraid of choosing wrong, afraid of finding out that ambition alone doesn't guarantee outcomes. Fair enough. But here's the truth. Your life does not improve when you finally feel fearless. It improves when you build systems that make fear less relevant. That's the game. Not becoming a different person overnight. Not performing discipline for social media. Not pretending you're always motivated. Just building a life where action has a lower activation energy than avoidance. And once that happens, momentum stops feeling mystical. It starts feeling engineered. So the next time you say, "I'm lazy," pause. Ask a better question. What am I protecting myself from? Because the answer to that question might be the beginning of your actual life. If this video gave language to something you've been feeling for years, subscribe to Growth Venture Lab. Because this channel is not about hustle theater. It's about building leverage, building clarity, building wealth, and building a brain that works with you, not against you. I'll see you in the next one.